Hello everybody, it's Pat here. I'm going to be showing you today how to do a tree of life, and we're going to make this the outside circle and we're going to form the tree on the inside. Now I'm working with stone chips which come in long 36-inch strands. Today I'm using amethyst, which is it's a healing stone. It's one of the primary healing stones. Promotes good sleep habits is one of the main things that it does. So that's a good one to have. So first of all, I'm going to work with this 0.2 meters of the aluminum wire, which is this type of wire. It's very heavy wire, but it's also soft so that it's easy to mold. And we're just going to take the wire and form it into a circle, just gently with my fingers, around like that. And I'm going to leave some for at the top here for creating the loop for a pendant bail to put a chain through, and just make sure I get it nice and rounded. This wire is quite easy to shape, so that's really good. Then I've cut from a 26 gauge wire, I've cut 5 pieces that are 0.3 centimeters long. So that gives me enough length that I can double this over, which I will find the middle, and I'm going to just take that and go down into the center here, and I'm going to give it a double wrap so that it holds nice and firm and won't move on me. So put my finger between the middle and go around and around again to give it that nice firm wrap. So that's one. We're going to do that with all 5 pieces. Find the center. It's not critical that you get exact center because we're going to trim off all the excess at the end. So just give that a nice twist. And again with the third one, just center it up. And now we're going to start with the wires to make the roots of the tree, and then we go up into making the trunk, and then I'm going to feed on the chip beads that will create the leaves of the tree. So the wire creates the roots, the trunk, and the branches, and the beads are the leaves. So I use 5 because I get 1 in the middle that way and 2 on each side, which works very well. And I guess it depends a little bit how big that you make your circle as to how many will work better. So get all of our wires lined up and separate them out a little bit so that they sit nicely. Then I'm going to bring them up into the center and feed them up like that so that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gather them together, and I'm going to fold them and then twist to make the trunk of the tree. Make a nice twist to get a little bit of length there on the tree, like that. And get these roots all kind of spread out a little. Now to add a little bit of design to the roots, take a pair of pliers, grab the wire and give it a little twist so that it gets a little bit of a kink in it. Looks a little more root-like. Separate those out a little bit more. There we are. So then when we get to that stage, we're going to take the tree trunk, and I'm going to separate all these wires out so that they can be used to feed on the branches. So I get oh, I see why I've only got 4. Here's the other lonely one sitting over here. I thought that doesn't look like 5. So if just add that guy back in. Slipped off on me when I was working. Never a problem. You can always make things work better by just another bit of twist so that it matches in. There we are. And we'll give that one a little twist as well. So once again, getting back here, we'll separate these out so that I've got some on each side. Balance our tree a little bit, and the one for the very center. So now to feed the chips on, I want to do the bottom first and work up to the top. And give that tree trunk a little bit of shape. There we are. And also, another thing, I've taken some of the chips off of the strand here, and I'm going to kind of lay them out and have a good look at them. We're going to need a lot of small chips because they have to nest together. And then a big one like that I'm going to set aside because it's probably too big for this small item that I'm making. If you were making something large like a wall hanging, they'd be ideal to use some of the big ones, but for the most part when we're working on a piece this size, I only want small ones. So we'll go ahead and feed on some of these. Maybe alternate the colors a little bit too so that we get a nice range of color. And these tiny ones work so well. And you'll find they work even better as we get closer to the top because then we have to have them nest in a little bit more. So usually about 5 or 6 of these beads work pretty good. We get over to the side, and then I'm going to go around the outside circle like that, and I want to cross over that first circle and come up on the other side, and that holds it in place a little bit better. So go around like that, and then we'll cross over to come back, and that's probably enough to cinch it down. So then this, we can tighten it up with our chain nose pliers and then nip that piece off because that's excess. It's always good to have extra though because it's so much easier to wrap when you've got extra wire and you can do a good turn with it. Get rid of any extra. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to this side and feed on the next branch onto the opposite side so that it balances and work my way up. So I'm going to stop now so that I get a bunch of these done, and I'll come back to you when I'm going to do the very top and finish off the very end. Okay, it's Pat again. We're back here. I've got my chips threaded on to make the leaves of my little tree, and I've left the 2 center ones here that I'm going to bring down. You could choose to just use 4. I gave my trunk a little swirl just to make it a little different, but I'm going to bring this down at the back and take these 2, separate them, and do a twist with use my finger to hold it tight at the top and do a nice twist on this wire. And this is going to add a little bit more interest to the trunk of the tree because I'm going to bring that down as a topping on the tree, which sometimes trees have a little bit of a shaping and little knots and things, so that's what this is going to give the look of. So I just bring that into a nice spiral twist. Okay, so let's see if that's going to be enough. So we're going to bring it down through and bring it up onto the trunk of the tree. Down and back up again. Okay, so I've kind of run out of spiral there, so I'll do some more. This, of course, is an optional idea just to give a little more character to your piece. Okay, run that around. And I think this one will be enough to finish here. Come down by the roots. And then I'm going to take and clip that piece off. I've clipped off all the other pieces as I finish them along the sides there. And whenever you clip off your wire, take your chain nose plier and just give that a twist to bend it in and tighten it so that there's no little pieces sticking out. Okay, so now we're going to do the top so that we can make it into a pendant bail for working on your... I'm going to cross that over, bring it back, and then just take a pair of pliers to run that through. I'm going to make this one a little fancier. The other one I made just a really plain top, but we'll just bring that up and bring it through, give it a little bit of tendril look to it. Since it's purple, maybe we can think of it as being a grape tree. So then this side, form into a circle, and of course the pendant should, to have the chain or cord go through, you need the hole to face that direction. And we're going to bring that back and just tuck in this end. Back like that, and I'm just going to finish that end a little better. And that needs to be cut with the cutters so that we get rid of that raw end. There we are. Get my bail back up on top where it's supposed to be. And tuck my tree a little bit. So there, we've got our tree of life again. So that one is the second one. This is the first one that I put together earlier today, just to show you the different ideas. And I have a couple of other samples to show you here. Here we are. So that's the amethyst. So we've got one in rhodonite that's also quite nice. And I've got a really interesting one here where we've made the outside shape like a leaf, and then the tree done with a variety of colors. Another thing you can do with chip beads is a little Ming tree, and that's got lots of wire twisted around with a solid piece on the bottom and beads at the top. So I hope you enjoyed working with the chip beads with me, and bye for now.